Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Following a critically acclaimed, sold-out run at the Public Theater, John Leguizamo is bringing his new one-man show called Latin History For Morons to Broadway's Studio 54, with performances beginning on October 19th. And we drop by the Cantina rooftop to catch up with the award-winning star. How did this play come about for you? How did you come to write it?
Well, the genesis was my son was being bullied at school, and he goes to a fancy private school. We live in the Gold Coast, no shame. I'm bougie, thank you. And he's being bullied, and I wanted to give my son the words and the facts to defend himself, because I think violence is the lowest form of communication. I wanted my son to really deal with it with just words. So I started doing all this research, and as I'm researching this stuff, I realized, oh my God, this story of me and my son empowering ourselves is a story that I want to put out there, and that's how the show came about.
What did you learn the most about doing all this research for this? Because I mean, like you said, a lot of it was left out of the history books, and it's all there.
It's shocking. The fact that we Latin people are actually the sons and daughters of the American Revolution. Cuban women in Virginia sold all their jewelry to feed the Patriots. General Bernardo Galvez from New Orleans sent $70,000 worth of weapons to George Washington, and 10,000 Latin people fought. Cubans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and Venezuelans fought in the American Revolution, and yet you never hear about it. And it's not in the History Channel, Discovery Channel, Ken Burns doc. Where is it? It's got to be somewhere.
It's going to be at Studio 54.
It's gotta be here. Yes, that's right.
Remember that first show you saw on Broadway? Was it Chorus Line? Was that your first?
That was the first Broadway show I saw. It was incredible, man, because here was Priscilla Lopez. I know her name. Was my first Latin person that I saw, on stage. And to see her, when she created the role, she helped, create it. That was her story. Michael Bennett paid them, $1 for their rights to that's all they got was $1. And which was cold-blooded, but I still love the piece. And then I got to meet Priscilla. I love her. She's one of the mentors that gave me the courage to know that I, as a Latin man, could be a performer, could be a writer, could be an entertainer.
Isn't it great what you learn by seeing something on stage? You're like, I see myself doing that.
Oh, dude, it was so powerful for me. Because it's different than watching a movie or television. That's a little removed, but when you're there and they're in flesh and blood, it becomes sort of like a real memory. It becomes like part of your own imagination, as opposed to like something that's distant and you go, that's untouchable. But there they are, and you see them and you can meet them, and I don't know, it just stays in you forever.
You talked about dancing, Priscilla Lopez, and a Chorus Line. You dance in this show.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I dance. I got the injuries to prove it. And the physical therapist to prove it. I'm doing a lot of like native dances, and then doing a tribute to all the Latin contributions in dance. Doing a little cumbia, cha-cha, mambo, merengue, doing all that. Bring it to folks.
Have you upped the dancing for Broadway?
I did. My dancing is a little sharper, tighter. I was missing a few beats. I'm not gonna lie. I'll admit it now. But now I'm hitting all the beats.
What are you enjoying the most about doing this show, and what are you looking forward to doing it on Broadway now?
Well, what I enjoyed was the journey that I was taking the audience with. Here we are laughing and then sometimes crying and sometimes getting really angry together. And I just find that the level of emotions that I can take the audience with is so powerful that I can't wait to do it on Broadway and do it with bigger audiences and see where we can go. It was after the show, people would come up to me. Some would be crying, some would be angry, some would just feel exhausted from the experience. It was incredible because I was feeling all those things: angry, sad, happy, and just unified. There was a lot of white people, a lot of black people, Latin people who came up and go, I didn't know this. I wanted to know. What book should I read? And I felt like the professor that I'm not, but I give them syllabuses.
See, that's what I love about all of your shows. I've seen all of your shows on stage, from all the way downtown, all the way up to Broadway. You learn so much from what you put out there besides entertaining everybody, and that must make you feel so great.
Yeah, I see myself more as an artist and entertainer, and I feel as an artist you have to elevate, and theater brings that. It encourages that. You couldn't have Hamilton happen in a movie or a network or TV, because the studio heads would have never believed it. They would go, wait a minute, you're doing the founding fathers and they're going to be black and Latino, but they weren't, and they didn't speak rap in the 1700s. So that show would have been dead, but not Broadway. Broadway and theater allows you to be the true artist that you are. It gives you the freedom and power to say things exactly how you see them.
My final question is, you have this incredible fan base from movies, TVs, your comedy shows, your HBO specials. Many people will be coming to Broadway for the very first time to see you, and you'll change it for them, what that means to you.
Oh my God, that's such a beautiful thing to know that that I'm doing for Latin people what Priscilla Lopez did to me. Seeing her in Chorus Line was such a monumental moment. It was the coin drop moment where you go, I could do this. We can do this. We're allowed to do this. And it gave me the permission to be an artist. I'm hoping I can do the same for Latin kids and all kids who want to be artists or performers or writers.